Hello, welcome back to Mindful Parenting Circle podcast. I am your host Kashish Sandhu, and today we have a very special guest from United States. She is Danielle Frank, a woman who blends wine wisdom with parenting, humor like no one else can do. With over her 20-year of wine industry experience, she has turned her observation into a book called A Wine Lover Guide to Parenting. This book is recently featured in US Weekly, if I'm not wrong. And she proved that you need not to have parent yourself to understand parenting, but a person who loves children, understand their need, and most importantly, wanted to understand. This is Maria Montessori philosophy. So she may not be a parent, but she twisted her parenting thought process that you need not to be a parent to understand it. She is a proud aunt and she observed very closely the parenting chaos of her niece. So Danielle, welcome to the show and tell our audience that what inspired you to write the book A Wine Lover Guide to the Parenting, and tell us about yourself. Mike is yours.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. It's lovely to be on. Well, I've spent over 2 decades in the wine and spirits industry, working with brands like Moet and Chandon, Dom Perignon, Veuve Clicquot. I've always been a wine lover, and I've always believed that wine has this magical ability to bring people together, even in the chaos of life. And as you mentioned, I'm a proud aunt to not only to my niece and nephew, but to many of my friends' kids. My friends' families have become my families, and many of my friends' kids call me Aunt Danielle as well. So for years, I've been watching my friends, my sister, juggle parenting, careers, their sanity. So A Wine Lover's Guide to Parenting started as a humorous take on those parallels. It started with chapter 1. I drink wine, I don't listen to wine. That stemmed from I was watching my niece and nephew when they were young. They're adults now, which is crazy. But I was watching them when they were younger, and they're great kids. But of course, like many kids, they have wine moments, and they were whining about something. And I said, Aunt Danielle drinks wine. She doesn't listen to wine. And from there, it just started to flow, looking at thinking about the different parallels, the things that I see working in the wine and spirits industry, pairing the patience and perspective it takes to age a fine wine with the same qualities required to raise kids. It's become my love letter, my homage to parents everywhere, to cheers to them with a little bit of humor and heart.
That's great. For parenting, we need lots of patience. That is very important point you have mentioned here. And as you told that you are from last 2 decades, you are into the wine industries. And what made you to connect the wine wisdom to the parenting humor, as you explained earlier, but in detail means what did you feel like? I should get into parenting. I should help parents to do the parenting, make their parenting style easy. Or maybe parents were struggling and you thought of, okay, let's help them. What made you to get into the parenting things?
Yeah, I mean, I always say, you don't need to be a grape to be a sommelier. You don't need to be a parent to know good behavior in kids and what you like to see in people. I was engaged to be married, and my ex has 2 kids from a previous marriage. So, I did get to play that stepmother role for quite some time in the 6 years we were together. Unfortunately, he didn't want more kids. So I broke it off because that was a dream of mine to become a mom. And unfortunately, that didn't happen for me, but that maternal instinct, never went away. And I just realized, wine and parenting have more in common than people think. As you say, patience, both require patience, a sense of humor, the ability to recover quickly from spills. So in the wine world, we talk about balance, complexity, body. So honestly, I just started to see that with describing every parent I know, again, watching my sister and my friends' kids and being so involved in their lives. I wanted to use that familiar wine language to give parents permission to laugh at the hard stuff and see themselves as the beautifully complex blends that they are.
Wow, such a clarity of explanation. Loved it. So, what one analogy from your book that parents tell you makes them laugh the most? Means what is the most important thing? What did you feel that when you start writing a book?
I feel, so happy to bring this book to life, and the amazing feedback I'm getting is just it brings a smile to my face every day. So I've had great feedback. People really enjoy, the poignant points, because, while it is a tongue-in-cheek satirical book, there are very relevant, poignant points of raising kids well, but in a humorous style. So, they particularly like the first lesson, I drink wine, I don't listen to wine, about not letting your kids whine to get their way. Also, you don't want your kids to ferment, which is ferment is to be harsh, and that's equating them to, about giving kids manners and having manners with everything they do. So, yeah, I'm getting great feedback on everything. My personal favorite though is it your kid a mulled wine? That one's a little bit more serious, but at least I inject, the lighthearted humor in it. A mulled wine is one that's heated and spiced and packed as is served as a punch. So this is about, making sure your kid's not heated and packing a punch, and making sure you know how they're acting outside of the home, not just inside the home, because as we know, bullying is a big problem these days. And so again, tries to bring it to the forefront, but in a humorous, lighthearted way.
Yeah, that's incredible insight. Really makes us think that bullying is the most important thing which children are facing these days, and it is really difficult for the parents also how to handle such situation and where they are facing. And the most important things what you told that, and I also know that about the patience in parenting. It is very
Absolutely.
important. I have also written in my this book 3P Golden Tips for Easy Parenting. I am also author for two books I have already done for the parenting. So in that also I have written about patience and persistence. And even though you are not a parent, Danielle, you are a proud aunt and observer. What has watching parents taught you about real life parenting experience? Means maybe the children around you, maybe the society, maybe your friend circle, or you were into the wine industry. What made you like, okay, let's get into that and help the people to help the society so that we can make a kind, compassionate society where if the parents are well educated and if they don't have parenting mindful parenting style, they are not able to do right kind of parenting. So for a parent, what kind of quality do you think that is very very important? Because children learn from home in the beginning, so it is very important our home environment should be really really good. So what do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, that's so much of what I say in my book. At the end, I just, go off on a little diatribe about, kids, they don't come out of the womb, you know, uh, with this behavior. So much of it is learned behavior. So, it's our job, not just parents, but the people that are around kids to make the best impressions, to give them the best lessons, the best opportunities to be their best selves. So as an aunt, as an observer, watching the parents, it's taught me that both parenting is an art and a survival sport. And the best parents aren't perfect, they're adaptable, and I've seen how much love, humor, resilience it takes. And that's why I, want to celebrate parents rather than judge them. From my vantage point as an aunt and observer, I get to see the beauty and the comedy of it all without having to clean up the messes, of course. Sometimes when you're on the outside and not directly, as I say, in the battlefield, in the trenches, sometimes it's easier to have a fresh perspective, right? It's easier to see that grape juice can turn into a lovely Cabernet.
Yeah, I always say that if your house is messy, definitely there is a freedom for the children, and if there is a freedom with empathy to the children, they will learn in a much better way. This is what important in parenting also. So in your book, I try to read the PDF which you have sent to me. So in your book, in chapter 6, you have written that the decanting meltdown. So the idea of decanting meltdown is brilliant, right? So can you explain what that means for overwhelming parent?
Yeah, decant. So, it says you decant, let them run all over you, especially if they're having a meltdown. So, when you decant a wine, it's just letting the wine breathe. So just like wine needs to breathe to show its best self, sometimes parents and kids need a little space to breathe out their emotions. Decanting a meltdown means give yourself and your child permission to pause, reset, not bottle it up, whether it's stepping outside for fresh air or just pouring yourself a metaphorical glass of patience. It's about letting the moment settle before reacting. Patience and letting things breathe is good for you as an adult. And it also sets the example for the child too, to take a minute, to take a breath. We all need to, manage our feelings, manage our reactions, and um, and aerate. That's what the wine terminology is in this book. Every time I use wine terminology, it gives the definition as well. So when you're decanting it, you're letting it aerate, you're letting it breathe, and that's important in life too.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, beautifully explained. Basically, from chaotic state to calmer state, we need some kind of pause. Like breathe, you have to do some kind of like breathe in, breathe out, and then take a pause, and then you speak to your child, give them time to understand, and then it will be working. That's nice, beautifully explained. So, many parents feels that judged or pressured. How does humor help them to breathe, relax, and see things in a different way?
Humor is like the corkscrew that releases the pressure of a wine bottle. The moment you can laugh at something, it loses its power over you. Parenting, I see everyone around me is hard enough. No one needs the added vintage of guilt. I think humor reminds parents it's okay. They're human, they're doing their best, and that perfection is not only overrated, but it's impossible. And humor just helps lighten the moment, especially in harder times.
Yeah, that is true. It is very important to make something funny when children are in chaotic mood. So definitely that will work. And I saw in your book you have blend the practical truth with the comedy, right? So what one practical lesson parents should take away from your book, the which you have
I,
written?
I think that the best, like the best wine vintages and the best humans, all of us, we're not flawless, and imperfections are great and they're full of character. Parenting isn't about getting every note right, it's about balance. And if you can keep your sense of humor and a little perspective, you'll raise kids who feel loved, not micromanaged, and that's the real secret pairing.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. And what would you say that the parents sometimes feel guilty for not being perfect? They want perfectism in their life and they feel guilty. Oh, I am not able to do this for my child. I am not able to do for this for my child. What would you say what parents should do?
I think that's the best example you can show your child is that you're not perfect, right? I mean, if your children think you're perfect all the time, then they're going to feel like they have to live up to that. And if they don't do well in school or something that, it might be a bigger blow to them. I think showing them that we're human as well and we make mistakes and it's okay to make mistakes. You're setting the best example for your kids to show them that it's okay. It's okay to not be perfect. We're all human and to show resilience. That's really setting the best example for your children.
Yeah, actually, our children don't need a perfect parents. They need a present parents. We should be present to our children in the early age. So it is really important and very nice point. So, what when your book is featured in US weekly, how did that moment feel, and what impact did it have on your work?
Wow, that was such a surreal pinch me moment for sure. As a first-time author, I'm doing this independently. I'm doing the major hustle, and it's very. I'm so grateful to be, welcomed on shows like this podcast as well to share about, the a topic like parenting in such a humorous way and share my book and sharing it with the world. So with the Us Weekly article, that was, as I say, a pinch me moment. It was validation that the message resonates beyond just wine lovers or parents. I say this book is not just for parents, it's for aunts, uncles, wine lovers, and anybody that just loves a good humor book. It's about finding joy and humor in life's chaos. And it gave the book a boost in visibility and really encouraged me to keep sharing its message of laughter and lightness.
And yeah, that is very important because these days all people are busy in their work, and they are working so hard in IT industries and all. They need some time to be into, like, they should have some kind of happiness, humor, or they should enjoy their life. But what they are not doing that. Even as a parents, they are just keeping nannies, they are keeping house help, or they are not taking care of them. By financially, they are very strong, but emotionally they are not connected with the children. So what most important as a parents we should do, we should be having connected parents, so that our children will understand. As I am a Maria Montessori fan, I am a trained parenting coach for this childhood education, and working as a teen parent. So I always believe that what Maria Montessori says, that your children don't need a highly educated person, your child don't need a person who is earning so much, but your child need a connected parent. So
Absolutely.
yeah, finally, what message do you want to give to the parent who all are listening this podcast, and what take back you are wanted to give to their children, for themselves, or to their home?
Truly, that joy and humor are the best pairings for parenting. You're not raising perfection, you're raising people. Breathe, laugh. Remember that even the finest wines come from a little pressure, a few flaws, and a whole lot of love. And to tell parents you've got this and you deserve to savor the journey just like you would savor a nice glass of wine.
Perfect, perfect. Fantastic answer. Really open up conversation. Daniel, thank you so much for bringing your humor, your wisdom, and your warm heart into our space today. So, anything
Thank you.
else you want to tell? Thank you, sir. Anything else you want to tell our audience before closing this podcast?
Yeah, just, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey like you would enjoy a fine bottle of wine and, recognize that everyone's different, just like every bottle. And we should just, take heed and interest in all the notes and the aromas and the feelings it evokes in all of us. And yeah, just enjoy the journey. But I thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure, and you're doing great stuff as well. So I look forward to continuing to see what you're doing as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Daniel. See, a parent often carries so much of pressure, but today you reminded us that it's okay to laugh, it's okay to breathe, it's okay to let life settle like just a good wine bottle, or just a good wine. To all the parents who are listening, remember this: your parenting doesn't need to be perfect, it doesn't need to be a more educated parent, but it just need to be a present parent. And sometimes the best way to survive the chaos is smile through it. If this episode made you laugh, made you think, and make you feel little lighter, just follow Danielle, just read her book, and don't forget to follow Danielle and check on her amazing book. I'll post the link on the link. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Danielle,
so
for giving
much.
me your time. And